I'm not even on there.
It should be on there.
I popped out from the box. Mic check, mic check. Are we good?
Yeah, we should be good.
Is it like catching my voice there?
Yeah.
Cool. What's up? What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Hope y'all had a great week. Welcome back to the stream here at VRLA Tech. Today we got like this special edition Lian Li case. It's the 011 Vision. We've done a 011 Vision before. This one's a chrome color, so they have it white and black. I think we did both white and black on stream before. Today we're gonna do the chrome special edition version of the case. But yeah, hope you guys had a good week. Thank you for coming back here. See y'all in the chat. Zach Attack, Sweet Dreams, Fox. I see the chat before stream starts, so I saw y'all in there. Always glad to see y'all. Thank y'all for always coming back to check us out. I see you got somebody got Fox. You got 4 days off from school. That's what's up. Just chill out, game it up. I assume that's what's up. It's I guess some people are on spring break too. I'm not sure. There's a lot of holidays going on right now. But yeah, nonetheless, we're gonna do this Lian Li case here today. We got a Gigabyte Z790, and we got some Lian Li fans. So I think by the time next week, we do have these new. Let me get some. So we do have these new Lian Li LCD fans. I won't be building with them on stream today, but I think by next stream I'll be building with these. So I can't wait to showcase those to y'all. Those are really nice. But today we got like the regular Infinity ones, the Uni Infinity fans, which y'all have seen before on stream. But yeah, I just wanted to mention those LCD ones are really cool. I'll talk more about them on the next stream when we do use those. And I don't think we ever used AMD GPU. So today we're gonna do the RX 7900 XT. Really good GPU. Very good for like FPS per dollar, right? AMD does really well with their pricing. The only better GPU is the 7900 XTX. And I don't know if I'm mistaken if there's a 7950 XTX. I know they did the 6950 XTX or XT. There's so many X's. RX 79 XTX. But yeah, we haven't done an AMD card on stream, so we'll showcase that one as well. I think it'll all look pretty good in this chrome case here. It's gonna be like more of a black aesthetic going on in this case. So let's get started nonetheless. Let me pop out the case so I could show it off a little bit, talk about it. Get off over here. Right. You know, before I would kind of have the I would have actually, not kind of, I would have the case unboxed already, so I didn't have to really unbox it on stream because I mean, it's kind of hard to do on the table and stuff. What did I drop there? I think I kicked one over there. I got it. Just some screws, I think. came out of here. Okay. So this is the Chrome. So it's essentially the black Lian Li 11 Vision. You can just see like that mirror look to it. It has like that mirror kind of reflection. It's pretty. I mean, it looks like I can see myself in it pretty well. Um, Pretty cool. They just have this little rubber stuff for shipping. Since it's all glass, it's like basically glass on glass. There is no pillar here, right? There's no like structural support from the case here. It's just glass on glass. So they have this little rubber stuff for shipping. We'll keep those on the side. But yeah, it has like that mirror look. So they call it the chrome look. But essentially the rest of it is just black. Get that off there. Wow, it is really like a mirror look. Mirror finish to it. And seems like a little bit different black from the actual black one. It kind of looks like, or is that just me?
Like
Glossier, maybe?
like satin black.
Yeah, it looks like a little different black to it. Really nice case. We've seen the O11 before on stream. Let me just take some of these panels off, kind of just prep it up. Ooh. So yeah, the only structural support is this little like triangular piece here. It has like this glass panel in the front, this little triangle piece. The other panel kind of like magnetizes onto there, and then screws on there, and then that top glass part, same thing, kind of uses this as a structural support. Pretty cool that they were able to remove that pillar there, that structural, because it just gives it more of a cleaner, like glass kind of fish tank look, as compared to the old O11 Dynamic. And now with the mirror finish to it, I mean, it's a completely different, really, of a case. You do miss out on those 3 top fans, but the airflow is pretty good. And now you're able to put those 2 fans on the back here. So you really just miss out on 1 fan. The other one you could put 9 fans total. This one you could put 8. So you just miss out on 1 fan. And the airflow is still really good. So you're trading 1 fan for like way more aesthetic. Really nice that they did that. I'll showcase it more when we get it built up and stuff. I'll put some of the glass back on. We'll see how the RGB shines through. So it's still transparent, but it does have that mirror look too. They kind of accomplished two of those 2 things there with the mirror and the transparency. So that's kind of crazy that they're able to do that. Yeah, it's definitely better than the plain black one. I mean, even if you're super into RGB and you want to show off your RGB, still really awesome. So we got this Gigabyte Z790. I'm not sure if I used one of these on stream before, but this is a pretty standard Gigabyte board. They do have like their Aorus, the Aorus boards. Those are like their more high-end boards. That's like their top of the line boards. We used some of those on stream before. These, I think they have 1 step down from the Aorus, and then this is their most basic line of boards. It's the UD ultra durable line of boards. So it's kind of comparable to the Asus Prime boards. or the ASRock, I think Pro series boards, or there might be another ASRock series of boards. Um, but still really good motherboard. Their UD series is all blacked out, so we thought that aesthetic would go well with the black chrome case. And then this part is kind of all blacked out too, with like a little red, um, like accent little line thing there. I'll showcase that as well too when we get there. And we're gonna be doing, what do I got here? I think this is a 14700. So we're gonna put an i9 in here today. Move this to the side. I was building today on a 5000 series motherboard, AM4, and I noticed that I mean, how many AM4 computers have I built? And I didn't realize that the socket is like orientated this way, so I never have to move the motherboard. It's kind of already orientated that way for me. But with this motherboard here, or like the Intel motherboards and the new 7000 series AM5 boards, it's easier to move the motherboard orientated the other way. But I didn't even realize that those AM4 boards were like that already for me, so I didn't have to change the position of the motherboard to really seat that CPU cleanly into the socket. For me personally, that's what I do. I don't know what other people do. Maybe they have a better technique. For me, I've had no issues using it that way. But yeah, we got that CPU in there. Get this NVMe in here too. So we do have a lot of options when it comes to our builds. I think standard we do 1 terabyte NVMe's. When it comes to like our mid tier builds, now we used to do 1 terabyte all across. Now we're doing 2 terabytes for the higher end builds like a Helios or our Phoenix. I think 2 terabytes is becoming the standard now. I think we have some time till we get there. But you know, with video games becoming more and more bigger in size for storage, you're gonna need more storage yourself. So 2 terabytes kind of where it's at right now. I remember when it was like you would use like a 128 for your boot, and then you can have like a hard drive, like a 4 terabyte hard drive. I guess we're moving on from that now because of the speeds. A lot of games before didn't require NVMe's. Now when you see the requirements of games, it requires NVMe's. I see in the chat, so the Toasters, I'm not sure if Toasters announces yet. I know I said last week that he was going to. I'm still not sure if he did. I did not check in on that. But it's a little shaky, isn't it? But yes, we got the Toasters one now. Zach was the one that won the Thermaltake giveaway. I think that's why he's asking on updates about it. Oh, so he didn't announce it yet for Toasters. But yeah, Zach's asking totally different question because he's the one that won the Thermaltake. He's not asking about if it's still open or not. He's the winner. Reach out to Maria if you haven't already, Zach. I think she will have that update for you. I think we're just waiting on some back end stuff, some technical stuff. I think we're just trying to clear some things out because it's already built. I think we're just waiting. We were waiting on a GPU for it from Gigabyte. They have like those white GPUs to match the aesthetic in that case. Try emailing us if you're not getting through is that Instagram? Yeah, try emailing us instead, and then we'll get to you. But I remember we were waiting on like a GPU for it. We were waiting on Gigabyte to send us those white GPUs to match the aesthetic for you. and then just clear some back end stuff and have it shipped out for you pretty soon. I was the one that worked on it, so I know it's basically done, and we just need to get that GPU for you. Uh, Nonetheless, I was talking about NVMe's. Um, so yeah, we're moving up the standard to like 2 TB for higher end stuff. And keeping the 1 TB standard now, right now for the until things changes for the like mid tier builds. And if you know you guys always want, you can request for your build if you do want more storage or not. Those options are always there. Just contact us and we can do that for your build. So with this, this is a little bit different from the other Gigabyte board that we had, where it just clips in. These ones, this is just has the original screw it in, screw in the heatsink. They do have like this little this part where you don't have to screw in, it just latches in there. But I remember showing off the other Gigabyte boards where they just had like that new Q latch. I know the Asus is the ones that call it Q latch. They were, I don't know what Gigabyte calls theirs, but it's essentially the same thing. I think actually is better than Asus's version of it. But this board doesn't have it. I guess because they're lower end motherboards, they don't put that in there. But with these motherboards, they come out with a different solution, the original solution, compared to the higher end ones. And today we got this T-Force RGB RAM here. It's gonna be 16 gigabytes each. This is their T-Force Delta DDR5 RGB RAM. It looks essentially the same to their DDR4 version of these RAM sticks here. Pretty neat. I think the diffuser on them, the RGB shines through pretty well. In some cases, I think these are actually better than some of the more higher end RAM sticks we see out there. I like Corsair a lot. I love their RAM sticks. I use Corsair RAM at home. But I think they did a really good job with this diffuser here with T-Force. Sometimes you'll be able to see the individual LEDs on other RAM sticks, and even though it has like a diffuser on top, and it's like, well, I mean, I don't think that's the purpose of the diffuser. It's supposed to not show those individual LEDs. So yeah, shout out to T-Force for that. That was really good of them to do that. I know those new Vengeance sticks from Corsair, they're also really good with the diffuser on them there. So let's this side here. We'll get this motherboard in now. Actually, let me just work on the case here. There is, oh wow, did I drop something there? There is this whole back plate here. I could just, yeah, I could do it like that so y'all can see. This whole back plate kind of like comes off. Some screws for it. And there's a screw here. And then we can move it down, we can shift it down. Although, maybe I don't have to do that because we're not going to put 2 fans here today. We're only going to put 6 fans, 3 on the bottom, 3 on the back here. So I won't need to do that. But if you wanted to fit 2 fans here, you would be doing that. So today we're not going to do that. So we'll just keep the way the back plate is right now. And even with it still like this, you could still put 1 fan back here. It's really cool that Lian Li did that with this case. Gives you a lot of options for what size AIO you want to use. So if you did have like a 240, you would move this down so it'd have space for those 2 fans. You put the 240 there, and then you could have that as exhaust. Since you don't exhaust from the top anymore, traditionally you would exhaust from the top and the back. Since we don't have any top fans, we would just exhaust from the back like originally, and you'll get the option to put the 240 there. So that's really cool that Lian Li did that. If we did a 360, I think today we're doing a 360, so we don't need that back part. We'll just exhaust from back here, intake from the bottom, exhaust from the back there. Depending on the case, that is not unusual. That's pretty normal thing to do as well. So like the Air Mini, that one intakes from the front, exhausts from this backside as well, intakes from the bottom, exhausts from that backside top, and this backside here. So totally not unusual to do so. I've seen some cases where you will intake from this side instead of exhausting. It just all depends on the case that you have and what components you're using. So most of the time in this case, you would be exhausting from this backside anyways. So yeah, once again, intake from the bottom, exhaust from the back, and nothing here today unless you're like using a 240 or whatever, then you'll be exhausting from there. Just wanted to say all that. Thermodynamics, I know it's so fun. The Chrome itself, the mirror itself, Zach, will give it an extra FPS boost. Yeah, it's real neat. I want to really show that how that RGB shines through though. I can't wait to have it finished and turn it on there. Oh yeah, I didn't see your comment there too, Zach. Yeah, usually wouldn't take that long. I think those white GPUs were in like high demand, so it was hard for us to get one in for you. I think was the biggest thing that we were waiting on. But no worries, we'll have that shipped out to you soon enough. Hopefully sometime next week. Let me. I need a bracket for this. Gary.
Okay.
You know the one for the deep pool. Yeah. The black top plastic piece.
Oh.
Yeah. It's the bottom left. You know which one. And then if you could get me like a black deep cool. 360. Yeah. Black deep cool 360. Look at me, I'm always forgetting stuff on stream. I'm sorry, guys. But we always got Jerry. Jerry, the right-hand man. I mean, this whole thing wouldn't be happening without Jerry, honestly. He's always coming through clutch. And again, he is our tech support guy here at Virale, but also helps out with so many things. He wears so many different hats here. So shout out to Jerry. And every time on stream, he's always helping me out. So I just forgot the 360 rad. We're going to put that 360 rad here. Going to be exhausting through it. And then the intake from the bottom. So all that intake coming from the bottom. And then straight just exhausting through there. Going to be some good airflow. It's not as much as other cases, but I think it still works really well in this case. And like hot air naturally rises, so that intake coming from the bottom is going to be really good cool air. Shouldn't have that much dust. It's a neutral airflow. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Derek. Again, yeah, it's a neutral airflow, so we got 3 intake, 3 exhaust. If you had those back 2 fans, it would be like a negative airflow, I guess, because it's gonna be more exhaust than intake, so you're gonna have some dust issues there. You could have the 2 back ones as intake instead, so you have 5 intake, 3 exhaust, so it'd be a positive airflow. It just really depends on the components you're gonna be using. But with the 3.3, that's neutral, that's pretty good. You're not gonna have much dust issues. And as long as you keep your case on top of a desk and not on the floor or anything like that, then you should be good with dust. You shouldn't really be getting that much dust in your build anyways. Um, Also, with this build, having all the airflow from the bottom, you really want to make sure that you keep it off the floor as well, so you can get the best airflow having it on a desk. And they have enough space. I mean, with the feet here, it's elevated enough so that way you have some some space there for those bottom fans to work and have a good intake. So the design is there. If you do have decide to put it on the floor or lower to the floor, uh, there's still enough clearance for those intake fans there. So cool. Got this board in here. Let me. Lian Li always cool. They give this little screw case. You can organize all your screws. Comes with some zip ties, some extra little grommets, stuff like that. So pretty neat, pretty cool from Lian Li. I do see what I don't usually see is does it always come with this? I think this is like a GPU mounting kit just to hold up your GPU a little bit. I've never seen them include that one on the other ones there. Pretty cool. So, screw organizer. I always use these. They're pretty neat. What do I need? Need these motherboard screws. So again, I think even the screws, I don't know if it's just me, but there is a different black to this case than the other black. Yeah, I think you're right. There is a kind of like a satin black, Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the screws themselves kind of look like a.
Yes, it's a nicer black.
Yeah.
The screws are the same. Paint match.
Yeah, I think so. They kind of have like a different hue to them. Like the light bounces off of them a little bit different. I know they match the screws because of the. They do that with the white case. They have like this silver. Yeah, yeah. I was expecting that with this because the white kind of looks like chrome. I guess they made it more because the chrome that they're talking about here on the glass panels, it's kind of like a that mirror look.
Just
So it's
seems
not.
to the inside more.
Yeah. So it's not like.
It's actually.
Yeah, it's not like because chrome kind of is silver,
Yeah.
right? So it's like a different type of chrome, I guess. It's like a mirror chrome, like that reddish.
Because on the box too, it's like that chrome that you think is chrome.
On the box it has like that silver, and then when you look in, it's like the other chrome, like that reddish, like silver mirror
Yeah.
type of chrome. I need this pick PC. I don't know if this one's gonna go on giveaway. We will have our next giveaway announced because I think Toasters already chose a winner. I thought that was hooked in. Look at me being a newbie. This is amateur hour. But no, I think Toasters already chose a winner for his giveaway. He just hasn't announced it. So that's why I think Sweet Dreams, you haven't seen Toasters announce it. He just chose somebody, but he hasn't announced it yet. We will have the next giveaway announced pretty soon. So like what build that's gonna be, and all the requirements and stuff. The new link will be up to that, so we'll have that pretty soon. I would say to go sign up for the toasters one, but I think he already chose somebody, and he's gonna announce it pretty soon as well. So just keep your eyes peeled for the next giveaway. Probably by the next stream, we'll have that giveaway announced. So just stay tuned for that. I'm just gonna put these fans into this bottom bracket. So this is one thing I didn't like about this case, is this bottom bracket deal. I don't know. Maybe I'm not being totally objective about it, right? It's kind of opinionated. Um, Obviously, right? It's my opinion. It's a kind of, I'm not being totally pragmatic about it. So I think there's a reason for why they did this. Maybe you get a little bit more clearance for the airflow. I'm not too sure. Also, maybe something to do with the motherboard, kind of, maybe it's in the way of the motherboard. I'm not too sure what the reasoning was behind this, but personally, I don't like dealing with the whole like bracket situation in cases. I think just attaching the fans from the outside is just fine, right? Like the 011 dynamic, before you just put the fans on, you flip the case over, you screw them in, boom, it's done. You don't have to deal with this whole bracket deal here. But it's not that bad. It's cool. The cool part about the bracket thing that they did was this back one here. So I'll demonstrate that one. I won't be taking it out. I'll just screw it in normally. But you could take this bracket out, and that helps a lot more with, you know, troubleshooting, or maybe you didn't screw anything in correctly or stuff like that. So that one's smarter, and I could see the reasoning behind that one better than this bottom one, if that makes sense. But it's not so bad. I mean, it's not taking me that long. It's not the worst thing to deal with in a case. I think that Y70 in the was probably the worst, and then the Y60 with that top. I talked about it last week, so that inversion they had of those brackets there from the Y60 to the Y70, and then Gambius kind of did the same thing with their case that I was working on last stream. Yeah. Brackets, brackets, brackets. Hey, if the winner didn't reply yet, I guess there will be another winner chosen. That PC has to be given away, so there has to be a winner chosen. If they didn't reply yet, I guess it's only right to move on after a certain amount of time, right? Let me get this. Can you get the cables?
Oh,
That go to the controller? I have the controller here, I just don't have the cable.
you need 3?
2.
2?
Boom, get this bracket in here. It's only with 2 screws. They kind of like hook into the back here, and then just 2 screws. Really simple, really easy to deal with. That's why I thought they were latched in when I first took the bracket out, and then it fell down onto the motherboard. I'm such an amateur. Oh, am I shaking the camera too much here? Let me try to move this. Okay. Maybe I move the table. It shakes a little bit, but not as much, because I think I was shaking the camera. That should be much better. And we'll have Jerry flip the camera right now so I can screw these in. Oh, we have it super low today, huh? This one
Probably.
feels like low today. I just like packed it. Can you pass me my drill too?
Go wild with generative AI in Adobe Photoshop. Create anything you can imagine just by typing a text prompt, like a jaguar. No, a jaguar with a spaceship.
Yeah, these are probably my favorite fans as well.
Try it now.
Um, just because they link together and stuff. I'm not a fan of RGB. I'm a plain type of guy. But the reason why I like these is because it's less cable. The whole reason why I was not a fan of RGB because I had to deal with more cables. And at home, I just don't like troubleshooting my build at home. Like, if something goes wrong, I hate troubleshooting it. So I wanted it to be like as simple as possible. I didn't want any extra wires or anything. So I opted out of RGB because I would have to deal with more wires and stuff. And I just like the plain aesthetic anyways. But when they came out with these fans, you didn't have to deal with much wire and you could have the RGB as well. So it was like best of both worlds in a way. And I came to like them a lot. And I know Lian Li makes a version of these fans that link together and don't have RGB. So it's like, oh, I get to have everything I want. I get to have my slice of cake and eat it too, right? No RGB and they link together. Either way, I mean, they're really nice. That like mirror infinity look there too matches the case really well. Right? It's gonna be like this whole like total mirror thing going on here with this case. So the whole aesthetic matches here. You got all mirrors. It's a mirror show. You got the mirror panels. You have the mirror on the fans. It's gonna be all mirrored out, chromed out. All right, let's work on some of this front I/O here. Yeah, these ones are a little bit pricier than the regular Vision. And I think they're a limited edition. I don't think they're gonna be doing these for as long as they do the regular Visions. It's kind of a limited edition thing. I think that's why they're a little bit pricier. And the glass panels, I think they have to use more material. So yeah, it's a little bit pricier. For some people, it might be worth it. A lot of people are into aesthetics. For me, I didn't really care for my build at home. I just wanted a powerful computer. I didn't really care for the aesthetics of it all. Maybe I regret it now because I see so many of these cool things and I put together a lot of these cool builds and I'm like, oh man, this looks so cool. And then I go home after my build is all plain. Got USB-C, USB 3.0, the front I/O button, power button, all that good stuff, and then HD audio. Boom, pretty much it for the front I/O. There's like a reset button here, power button, and then USB-C, two USB 3.0s, and the audio jack, 3.5 millimeter jack. Let me plug in the controller before I do some cable management here. Oh, so you've seen this build on Insta before? Completed. Nice. Yeah, I saw like the the release video. So when Lian Li kind of like announced this case, I saw that. I haven't seen anything completed yet. I kind of strayed away from it. I didn't want any spoilers, so I knew I was going to build in it eventually. So I kind of wanted to see it for myself once I was done with it. But I did see it in the trailer from, I guess, a trailer. It's not a movie, but the release video. What do you call those? It's like showcase, sneak peek. Yeah, they come out with like little videos when they come out with new products. All right. Let me plug in fan power and RGB. So the controller connects to the motherboard as well through USB 2.0, so you can use the Lian Li software, but also plugs in to the RGB and fan power headers. So that way you can also use the motherboard software if you wanted to.
What GPU is being used?
Oh, so today we're doing something different than we usually do on stream. We're gonna use a 7900 XT. So it's the AMD Radeon RX 7900 XT. We haven't done an AMD card on stream before. We usually do NVIDIA. Everybody loves NVIDIA. NVIDIA is really popular. But we have a lot of AMD Radeon cards. And they're not bad. Again, I was saying earlier in the beginning of the stream, a lot of the time with AMD, you get more FPS per dollar compared to NVIDIA, just depending on which cards you're comparing. So Radeon is a really good option, right? And it's not like you're missing out. You're not. They have like NVIDIA has DLSS. AMD has their own little version of DLSS, and I think it's open source. So if you had an NVIDIA card, you can use their version of the DLSS. I forget what it's called. And NVIDIA's is not open source, so if you had an AMD card, you can't use NVIDIA's generative frame generator little software. With AMD, it's open source and really good card. I think the next best one after this one is the RX 7900 XTX. So I think this is second in line for AMD, and they'll be coming out with new cards eventually too, just like NVIDIA. They're always going to be competing with each other, and I just thought it was a really good card. We never done it on stream, and it goes well with the aesthetic of this build here. It's like really blacked out. It only has like a little bit of red to it. So super cool card. And for the price, I mean, it's really, really, really worth it. I'd say it probably competes with like a 4070 Ti, maybe 4080. It's supposed to be their competition with the 4090, but we know the 4090 is probably the best card for sure by a long shot. But nonetheless, I mean, still a really good card. And if you check out our website, we're going to be having a lot of like one-off builds going up soon. So we have a lot of like different parts that we don't usually put into our regular builds. So we're kind of making one-off builds just with all the other extra stuff that we have that we don't usually use. If you want to check our website, check all that out. There'll be a lot more AMD cards because we're just used to using a lot of NVIDIA cards, and we put like AMD cards as like maybe an upgrade or a different option you want to choose. But we are going to have builds that just have those AMD cards and no other option. So if you want to check those out, I think they're interesting. And if you're looking to get a PC, I think those would be really good options to go for. But yeah, AMD Radeon RX 7900 XT. Awesome card here. 20 gigabytes. That's another thing with AMD cards. They have a lot more RAM. Across the board, their cards always have a lot more RAM. What does the 4090 have? 16 gigs? 16 or 12. AMD always has more. 20 gigs. you're future proofed pretty well, right? With all the games now requiring more VRAM usage, you're not gonna have any issues with a AMD card for a long time. 20 gigs is overkill.
24 gigs.
Oh, 24 gigs on the 4090. Yeah, cool. So, I mean, they don't even make a card that competes with the 4090. So if they did, they'd probably go 30 if they could, you know, like what does a 4080 have? 4080 Super.
Okay. 16.
16. Okay, so yeah, I mean, again, this is probably more in competition with the 4070 Ti and the 4080 than it is with the 4090. So 20 gigs is gonna beat out. I know the 4070 Ti has like 12 or 16.
470, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's 12. Um,
12, yeah.
12, yeah. Yeah, I use it home. The games that I play, I'm not there yet, but I know a lot of new games use a lot more VRAM. I can't imagine what Helldivers probably uses a ton of VRAM, right? Well, like, if you max it out. That's another thing, if you want to max it out. A lot of times, like, I don't max out any of my games, anyways. So, I'm more interested in having higher frames than have a higher resolution. Sometimes you have to kind of make the compromise between those things, and so I don't use much VRAM. But people that want to have a high resolution, you're gaming in 4K. You know, once you game in 4K too, it's kind of hard to go back to something else. So for those type of people that are gaming in 4K and they want to maintain those resolutions and like all the graphics details and stuff like that, all the setting, having a lot more.
Yeah, so you would compare this card to like 4070 Ti.
4070 Ti. Yeah, having a lot more VRAM is always going to help with gaming at higher resolutions. So 20 gigs it's insane compared to the 4070 Ti's 12 gig. You have 8 more gigs. I think even the 4070 Ti is gonna go kind of be obsolete in a way because of
The Super.
the Super, but also because of the 12 gigabytes of VRAM.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think the ray tracing on these AMD cards is a little bit more faster than.
yeah, a lot of people were
So just
reviewing those, and I saw a lot of reviews on. They're saying that the AMD's version,
Way better.
ray tracing version, is
Yeah.
better than Nvidia's, which is insane, right? And it's open source, so it's crazy. Yeah, that's cool. I thought about using it myself on my 4070 Ti. It does look good on COD. I know you don't like to use it on COD.
Yeah, nah.
Get more frames, but it looks good. On Warzone.
Which means you get like a 4090, so you could be able to play on high.
Yeah, you could get best of both worlds, high frames with high resolution. But even the 4090 struggles.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get like 250.
I think you get like 180.
Yeah,
190.
highest, and that's pushing it. Sometimes when I'm stressing them, I see 150 on 4K
Yeah.
on a 4090. So it's like, I don't think we're there yet with the technology. But 144 and up, right, on 4K, like, come on.
To be honest, yeah, you don't get. The majority of people get like the 144 hertz monitor. That's 4K.
Yeah.
They never get like a 240 hertz
Yeah.
monitor. That's 4K.
360.
Or
Even though they make them, but
yeah, they make. It's
it's
just
not worth it for
the
people.
price difference from a 240 to 144 hertz 4K monitor is
Yeah.
like a really big.
Yeah, it's
like
insane.
a $4 or $5 difference.
Yeah, it's insane.
But like now,
It's not even worth it. Not worth it.
unless you do like,
Unless you're super competitive, like CS or Valorant, and you want to like get all those little tiny little frames.
I mean, compared to comparable like 4K monitors and regular monitors, you can get now like 240 hertz 1080p monitor for like around $200.
Oh yeah, they're cheap. Yeah.
But the 4K monitor,
Even the 1440 are cheap now too.
like Samsung comes out with like these QLED monitors, other like $2,000 monitors. There's now, I think, the company that made the 600 hertz monitor. I think 650.
I think that was Asus.
Yeah,
I think it was
650 or
Asus.
600.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. That's you don't need that.
Yeah.
Do we need that? Do we need 600?
Some
some gamers out there need that, I guess.
I've been listening to the pros, like Valorant pros and COD pros. When they go on LAN tournaments, or even at their home, they play on 360 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
They said when they go on LAN tournaments, they sometimes make them play on 240 hertz.
Oh, and they're not used to it.
And they feel the difference.
Yeah, once you get used to something. Same thing with 4K. If you game on 4K resolution and you go back, you could see it right away.
Yeah, they can see it.
Here, I did an oopsie. Why? I put the fans on without putting the radiator. Silly me. But yeah, when I bought my 1440 monitor, it was pretty expensive because it was kind of like it was new. And then now that same monitor is like $300 cheaper. So I got like 500, and now it's like 250.
Yeah, monitors for some reason have calmed down. In price. I know during COVID they were really expensive. I think after a couple months after COVID, I went through 2020, halfway through 2021, going to 2022. You got 140 for like 120.
Yeah, they went cheaper.
And then 240 for like good ones, like 200.
Mm-hmm.
With like the 1 millisecond response time.
I know Acer makes a lot of the cheaper ones too, and it's like good quality even though the price.
Yeah. I think Alienware is the ones that have like the 360. They have like one with like less than 1 millisecond response time. I think it's like 0.5 or something like that.
Oh damn. Yeah, that's a whole other thing too.
Yeah, I don't know if you like have to tell the difference between 0.5.
I've seen the videos where they have like they show like the they record like gameplay and they show the difference. I guess when you're paying attention there and you're looking at your crosshair when you're playing and the other player moves across your screen, like they do that, that's what they're showing in the recording.
Yeah.
And like comparison, and you could see it in when they're showing it off in the comparison, but I don't know, maybe I haven't played with both to know the difference.
Yeah. And then,
But
if you go like the cheaper route, sometimes, well now I've seen also the reason why they're way cheaper. They do have like 240 hertz and the 1 millisecond, but they have a lot of like ghosting.
yeah.
So like the monitor has like your mouse like leaves like the little like
Trail.
Yeah,
It's like a trail. Yeah. There is settings in Windows to play with that, but I don't think you'll still.
Yeah, I think it's all based on. I see people that have gotten rid of ghosting with like tweaks and stuff, but like I don't know like how they actually did it.
Yeah. I don't know either. I don't have that issue. Could you get me screws for these? The AIO screws. I need the back ones too. To actually attach them. Do you have those too?
Oh yeah.
Little tiny ones, yeah. Monitor talk. So we're just talking about monitors and what's all on the market and what's better and stuff. Look, I think you can game 4K on these Radeon GPUs. You could game 4K no problem. You still have a high FPS as well. So I think that who was it that asked the question prompted this whole conversation. But yeah, this GPU here is pretty good. Another thing about these is I didn't mention is so like on NVIDIA cards, you have only DisplayPort and HDMI. With I think back in the day they did have like on the I think the 2080 Supers did have USB-C. Now they don't. 3000 series I didn't see any of those. 4000 series I didn't see any of that either. They only have DisplayPort and HDMI. With these cards you do have two display ports, one HDMI, and one USB-C. So AMD is still doing the USB-C thing, which, you know, people think that, you know, it's why would you need that for a display? There's a lot of reasons for that. There's various reasons for that. Like one big one I can think off the top of the head, if you had like another little mini screen or you had like some type of mod like that in your build, you could plug that into the USB-C of the Radeon card here, the AMD card. You wouldn't be able to do that on NVIDIA. You would have to have like some other adapter or different type of cable that kind of goes USB-C to HDMI or something like that. So it's really cool that AMD still includes that in their cards. So yeah, you're gonna get 4K gaming on a 7900 XT with high FPS, no problem. It's a really good card, and for the price, I mean, I think these were MSRP at the same. Yeah, MSRP is almost the same as the like the 4070 Ti Super MSRP now. So really good deal here. Get these screws in. So silly me, I forgot to put the radiator in when I put those fans in. Have to take them out, pop them on this radiator real quick, pop them back in, get the pump hooked onto the CPU motherboard, and then we'll have it right. My mistake. Build so many PCs and still make a little tiny mistake. It's a good thing with this case, there is not really an exact order of operation compared to like that Air Mini. So I didn't really need to take anything out that was in the way of this or anything like that. And that bracket, again, I did demonstrate that while we were talking. That bracket does help out. Kind of just pops out, slides in and out. So if there was anything in the way, you can just pop it out instead. But yeah, I was saying that you can still get 4K gaming on one of these AMD GPUs, right? You get pretty high FPS and 4K gaming.
Yeah.
But I think that's what prompted like the monitor conversation when he asked about.
I think the only issue with these cards is the software.
Yeah.
Software will only be like the downside of.
And that's not the like the ray tracing or whatever. That's like AMD's.
Yeah, like the journaling software.
Yeah, like their display. It's kind of like NVIDIA's GeForce experience. Yeah. Which that's not even good as well. Let's be honest. I don't really like NVIDIA's.
I think like the shadow play, like to record and stuff like that. It's easier on the video and works most of the time.
AMD.
AMD.
Yeah, that's true.
It just depends what you want, what's your budget.
In the end of the day, when you're playing the game, you're playing the game. You know, you don't even really.
Yeah, you're not focused on.
Yeah, what's in. You just want the display. I actually had an AMD for a long time before I went back to NVIDIA. So I had a 58 or 580. Oh, battery went out. You could change to the top.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I had the RX 580, and then I had the 5700 XT. Battery went out, but I think y'all could still see what I'm doing. I'm just putting the radiator in here now. Our battery always goes out, huh? It is a higher end camera, so I don't like that. I'm not surprised that the battery goes out quickly. It's so powerful. Or am I wrong? I'm not sure. What resolution does it come out on that? 4K.
yeah, I think it comes at 4K, but Twitch doesn't have like 4K, like 1080p, 1920. It looks better on Twitch than on YouTube though. 1920 by 1080p on YouTube you go 4K live stream.
Yeah.
You stream 4K.
Can you do 4K on Kick?
Nah, same thing.
Same thing as Switch. I wonder why. They probably can't afford it. YouTube got that YouTube. Yeah, I got that YouTube money.
Yeah, the service. I don't know, to be honest.
I don't know how all that works.
I think it has to do something with the media player that Twitch uses on their app. They use like an open, I think it's open node media player, which I think only supports 1920 by 1080.
Yeah, I do not know how all that works. But I figure YouTube is, so ahead of the game. Of course they have 4K stream.
I think it has to do with something with like connectivity. Because I know YouTube has a lot of streamers, just not as much as like Twitch. Because Twitch is just stream based. YouTube's like
videos and shorts now, and They don't have any thermal paste too, damn it.
Oh, let's figure out something. Need some?
All right, we got Jerry tuning in a lot more today, huh, y'all? You guys don't get to hear much from Jerry. But we get some of Jerry's opinions today, some of his insights. Thank you. Just getting this hooked up here. Uh-oh. My camera off again? Could yeah, keep it on this one anyway, so. Yeah, overhead's better for this part anyways, you're right. I was just saying that, Zach. So I'm gonna do my little new thermal paste design. I used to do just the hourglass with the dab in the middle. Now I do like the whole box with the hourglass. But I don't put much on the outsides, just enough for it to spread out. But I do put that nice pea-sized dab in the middle there, and that'll spread it out really well actually. So let's get this mounted now. Just line everything up. Oh, that's one thing. I usually put the cooler first because of this thing that happens. So the bracket came off. I do have kind of a solution that I can do right now. A little hard. And the thing with this case is you can't really access the back of the motherboard.
Just take it off.
Yeah, just take it off. Yeah. So that's what we'll do. Actually, it's a good thing that this happened so I can demonstrate it kind of. So that bracket that the mounting solution for this CPU and motherboard, the mounting solution uses like a back bracket that kind of like just uses like a double-sided tape to stay on the back of the motherboard until you screw on the pump. And so the pump will keep the bracket there eventually, and you won't really need to rely on that double-sided tape. But it came off. So there's one thing I can do, is just the cool thing about this case, which kind of makes up for that poor design choice, I guess I want to say. I don't really want to say that, but it is kind of a poor design choice. Because I don't know if y'all can see, but back here you don't have access through the back. There's this kind of like this honeycomb shape thing going on. Maybe they can't see it, huh?
I'll put on the main camera too.
I think if you put, there's this honeycomb shape back here. It's not just a complete square where you can go through. Before you will able, yeah, you can see that honeycomb there. And other motherboards, and on the older O11, or not motherboards, cases, and the older O11, you could access the back of motherboards. And with this case, I don't know why. Maybe it was a structural thing. I'm not really too sure why they went with that option, but you cannot access the back of the motherboard through the case. So you kind of have to take the bracket out, like what I'm doing now. I took the back plate off, and I'm kind of accessing the back of the motherboard this way. This is why I put the pump first when I'm usually building off stream. just so I don't have to deal with this little situation. It's not the worst thing, um, but just like a little heads up, and kind of explain what happened there. So the little back bracket came off while I was trying to put this mounting solution on, when I was trying to mount the pump essentially, and had to get my hand back there to just keep the back plate there while I screw this pump in. Um, it's not the worst thing. So they need to have some space back there for um, the motherboard to kind of breathe so it doesn't overheat in the back of the motherboard. So all PC cases do have a space back there, which is why they couldn't just completely close it off. They needed at least some of that honeycomb there. So they couldn't, just completely close that off. So I guess it's a bit of a compromise. It's not the worst thing, and it didn't take me long, right? It took me like a minute or so to do that, 2 minutes. Let me change this around to orientate it like this. Oh, take that off. Oh, all right. And we got pump and RGB cables. Pump will go into CPU option. And then we'll stuff that behind the motherboard. Try to make that look clean. Oh, my head's in the way. Yeah, we need to raise this camera next time. We had it raised. I think this time we had it a little too close. Okay, so just plugged in the pump cable, got the RGB cable to the back, got this all mounted up and stuff. Had a little hiccup, little speed bump there, but no biggie. We got it mounted. So a lot of that stuff comes with experience when building a lot. I try best of my ability to kind of avoid those things when I'm building at my desk, kind of on stream. Sometimes I'm trying to manipulate the case so I can show y'all on camera, and maybe I'm talking or something so I forget to do, or I'll skip a step or something. But that's actually a good thing that those things are happening on stream, so that way I can show y'all kind of what we deal with as builders and enthusiasts, and so that way when you guys come into those situations, you know what to do now, how to deal with it all. Where did I? Oh, right in front of me. And kind of gives me a chance to talk about the case and how they designed it and little certain features like that. To me, I think it's a design flaw. I did not like this honeycomb thing they were doing here. I like having that little cutout space so I could, deal with what's going on behind the motherboard. I will admit that these honeycomb little things do help out a little bit with cable management on other builds that I had with this case. I'll use the honeycombs to zip tie things to it, so it's not the worst thing. But they do have these as well, so it's like another option that you have for the cable management, and I like these better than I do like the honeycomb behind it. But you got both of those options with the case anyway, so it's a good thing. All right, let's get the power supply in now. Again, we're going to use this Corsair RM1000X. So this is the one that comes with the 16 pin. I demonstrated this one on the last stream as well. Really good power supply. Actually, Corsair RM1000X. It's their newest power supply. This one's better for the more conventional type of builds, right? It's like the cases where there's a hard drive bay on the bottom, you got the power supply shroud. It's not like a dual chamber case. It's like the, more original traditional type of cases. This is the better way to deal with cable management on those cases because the cables are coming out through the top here instead of the back. So definitely better for those type of cases. In this case, it does work out too because now you have them coming out from here. You get all this extra space in your dual chamber, right? You get this whole channel that you still want to deal with, and now you don't have the power supply cables protruding out this way, kind of getting in the way of your channel. So they come out through here, and you can still, like usually I'll put this controller in here on top of the power supply. You can still deal with it up here. You can put it inside one of the hard drive bays, kind of a controller bay nowadays for a lot of builds, a lot of different cases and manufacturers, because we're moving away from hard drives. So you don't necessarily have to compromise on storage there anyways. You can just use it as a space for your controllers, or if you had cable extensions, stuff like that, or the rest of this cable management. So really awesome power supply. Corsair was really smart for that. I haven't seen any other manufacturer do that. Really neat little thing they do. And now you see I get this whole channel I could still deal with. I think I demonstrated that on our last build. Anyways, let's pop that in there. Pop this back in there too. We'll wait on this one. Yeah, so, and then now I just go through the line of what I need to do, right? So won't be using the SATA. I can tuck that away. Could have unplugged it. Kind of had everything plugged into this power supply before stream.
You were here for the controller?
Oh, you're right, actually. Yeah, yes, you're right. I will be needing this SATA. Thanks for reminding me. So I come down the channel this way. Come down like that. Hook up the controller, which uses one SATA for the power, USB 2.0 for data, and also connected through to the motherboard through the RGB header and the fan power header, which I was explaining earlier. You can use both Lian Li's RGB software, or you can opt to use the motherboard's RGB software as well. Bam, we got that controller hooked up to the power there. And let's get these CPU cables routed. I'm gonna go through there. Got a motherboard 24-pin power through there. And with this case, it uses with this GPU, we're not going to use the 16-pin, so I might need a change. I did leave I think I left them on my desk. It's another 8-pin.
Oh, yeah, wait.
8-pin. It's in yep, he knows, he knows. Let me actually I'm just gonna remove the 16 pin because we won't be needing it. We don't have an NVIDIA GPU, so we won't be needing the 16 pin 12+4 connector. Keep that on the side there. Since we got an AMD card, they don't use that power connector for AMD, which that's another good thing. It has a less power draw than your NVIDIA cards. So being able to achieve 4K gaming with a pretty high FPS with a lower power draw is another good thing about the AMD cards there. The reason why NVIDIA had to change to a 12+4 or 16 pin power connector was because of just, you know, they're raising the power draw on their cards to achieve those higher FPSs and resolutions. It's in a bag.
Yeah, there wasn't a bag.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, so I was just talking about how we didn't need that 16 pin because AMD doesn't use it. But it's still that's actually a good thing about AMD because you still get the you still get to have high FPS 4K resolution with a lower power draw.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Yeah, so I mean, it's no wonder that NVIDIA's 4090 is so powerful. I mean, they had to change the whole power connector to it. And what does it pull? It pulls like 450 watts, I think. Right? The 4090?
Yeah, I think so.
450 watts. With this GPU, I forget the 7900 XT. Look that up, the 7900 XT, and then look up the 4090. It's going to be big difference in power draws there.
Well, gaming, 320.
320 for the 4090.
Oh no, for the 79 XT.
For the 700 XT, yeah.
Let me see for the 40. For the 4090, 411 while gaming.
411.
And then the
Awesome.
maximum it can go up to is 480-30.
480. Yeah, so like 450.
And the XT max 320 gaming and then max power consumption as well. 320. So that's the highest thing.
Yeah. So 100 something watt difference,
yeah.
Which is insane. I mean, it may not seem as that much. They may seem like arbitrary numbers, but no, it's a big difference.
Yeah, even like the one that compares to the 4090, the RX 7900.
Yeah.
That one only does 360 on the highest.
Yeah, so 40 more than the XT. Still really low.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
The highest one here is the 3090 Ti, which gives out 529.
Wow. That's insane. Good on NVIDIA. They created a better card with less power consumption. So the 4090 is way better than the 3090 Ti. And they were able to accomplish that with a lower power consumption. So that's good on NVIDIA for doing that. I did not know that, I thought. But it doesn't surprise me, actually. Like, now that I think of it, I mean...
Yeah, 529.
Yeah, the 3090 Ti was a crazy card.
For sure need like 1,000 watt now.
Yeah, because your CPU is going to use 100 or so, or 200 maybe, even depending on what CPU you have and all the little other stuff.
Yeah, like I think of the 4080 Super, you can use like 850 watts.
Okay, 850, yeah.
Yeah.
Use 850, yeah. That's insane for the 3090 Ti.
529.
That card was a mistake, really, for NVIDIA. I mean, I don't know. It came out right before the 4000 series cards came out, too. So anybody that got that kind of should have just waited for the 4090. For the 4090. And they announced that they weren't going to make a 4090 Ti, so the 4090 is good enough. It has a lower power draw. All right. Got these cables out. Let's unbox this piece. Yeah, so I had the RX 580, is the RX 580, or the, yeah, 580, that old school card. And then I had the 5700 XT. So I've dealt with AMD in the past before myself at home on my build. And I still have that 5700 XT. I don't use it. Just sitting. I don't know what to do with it. I was thinking about making like a living room PC, you know, something like that. So I don't know, I hook it up to the TV or something. But
I actually prefer the designs of AMD.
yeah, I mean, look at it. So like very compact. The thing about AMD is they don't waste any space, right? You see those NVIDIA cards, they have like a chunk of space in between like the heat fins and the PCB itself, and there's a lot left there to be desired with like the design. I mean, it depends on the manufacturers, right? With the Founders Edition cards, they do have them really compact. They do a good design on those Founders Edition cards. With other manufacturers, they have like a lot of space left that they could be using to disperse heat and stuff. But with these AMD cards, super compact. They're not wasting any space. They're not wasting any designs here. Really good, really good build to the card here. And I think some of them do come with RGB. This one doesn't. I just have like a little red little accent there. And then 2 8-pins. 2 8-pins going back. Feels like going back in time a little bit. That's good. I think AMD can still accomplish a lot more without having to change their power connector. But again, I think NVIDIA is kind of forcing them to. So we'll see what's up next with the AMD cards if they do change to a new power connector. Only time will tell. I think they're going to be forced to anyways, which is unfortunate in a way. But it's also a good thing. We'll see more powerful AMD cards in the future.
I think what AMD tries to do is has to compete with NVIDIA just with lower prices.
Yeah.
Try to get some power, but keep it
low, yeah. But eventually they're going to have to change to the 16. And in a way, it's kind of weird because the power supply companies are now making their power supplies for NVIDIA cards. So it's going to force AMD to use that power connector eventually too.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird situation going on there. Let's hook this up nonetheless. I'll zip tie this. I remember even the 3070 Ti needed 3 8-pins. That was insane. 3 8-pins. It wasn't, and I don't even think that drew as much power as these cards did. I think it was just so inefficient that it needed those.
Which one, the 3070?
It needed those 3. But it wasn't as efficient. So this card's way better with using less power.
The max power it gave out was 308.
Wow. Yeah, with the 3 8-pins. So it was using less power with 3 8-pins. That's so weird. And this is more power with only 2 8-pins. So that's really good for AMD to do so. All right. Okay. Is that it, Reed? You got everything plugged in here? All right. Let's get this turned on here. Trying to look for the power cable.
Took it over there.
You can take it.
Oh no.
Huh. Sorry about that, guys. We're just looking for a power cable here, and we got it. All right, we got it all hooked up. We had a lot of hiccups today. Sorry about all that, but it was a good little way to, you know, educate y'all, give y'all little pointers on what to do, little things here and there. So turned some bads into a good. And there weren't really that big of mistakes anyways. But we got the whole build done here. AMD GPU. Really cool to showcase this finally on stream and stuff. The big thing about the stream today is going to be the case. Obviously, we got the Chrome O11 Vision. Let's get it fired up here. Oh yeah. So you don't get all the flashing lights with this particular AMD card, but let me tell you, it's very powerful, and the case is really beautiful here with this mirror finish. Let me kind of try to angle it to y'all, and let me put the panels back on. There we go. Mirror finish there. It's really neat. Very different. Oh, I just had a little boot loop there. Oh yeah, that's insane. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, turn off that light there. Oh, that looks insane. Yeah, you guys can really see the reflection there. I mean, it's absolutely insane. So this is the first time I've seen this on a case. I haven't seen like a mirror finish on a case before. And look, if you're gaming at night, the mirror finish kind of disappears in a way, right? You can kind of still see it there, but now you can see your RGB, and so you kind of get best of both worlds with this case. It's pretty cool, right? You got it kind of hidden, and then at night your RGB will shine through. Yeah, exactly, Sweet Dreams. Yeah, exactly what I was just saying. So you beat me to it, if anything. All right, so thank y'all for stopping in. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Don't forget to check out who the winner is with that toasters build. It could be you, right? We don't know. He's chosen somebody, but it hasn't been announced yet. So we don't even know ourselves. We kind of left it up to him since it was a collab this time around. But keep your eyes peeled. By the next stream, we will be having the new giveaway announced, so that way you can start signing up for that giveaway. Um, and just stay active on our socials, stuff like that. And you'll be keeping up with us. We might even have the giveaway announced before the next stream. We'll see how all that plays out. But yeah, we got the O11 Vision Mirror Chrome edition today with the AMD card. Really, really sick build. Honestly, I really love this build. And uh, just want to reiterate for the next stream. I know I said it earlier in the stream or in the beginning. We are going to be showcasing these new Lian Li LCD fans. So you get a little screen on the fan. And we're going to be showcasing that on the next stream as well. So there's a lot of stuff to look forward on the next stream. So stay tuned in for that, guys. And really hope you had a good week and going to have a great weekend. Thank you guys for stopping into the stream all the time. Appreciate y'all. For real. Thank you, Sweet Dreams, Zack Attack, Fox. A lot of y'all always stopping in and chilling out with me while I'm doing these builds. And thank you so much, y'all. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you back here at VRLA Tech next week.